am proud that she's a woman with PhDs. And that's why I'm interviewing. You have dreams, you have visions, you have plans. Know that it is possible, it is achievable. Hoping there are a lot of women that are aspiring for things, great things like this. What inspires me about her life is not giving up. In the midst of having children, having family, and support from a husband is very key.
Honestly speaking, and I say this with all sense of sincerity, my biggest drive was my husband. I can't lie to you. He is my biggest drive. So when I got married, which was a little bit over 14 years ago, I had only first degree. And before we got married, just told me, you are doing your master's, okay? The moment you got married. And you know, in life, sometimes you have things planned out. But considering my background generally, I didn't have anything planned out. I just like, God, I'm in your hand. I could not even plan due to a lot of things there. On personal level, I would have loved to do master's, but considering where I was coming from and the financial implication, I was not going to do. I got pregnant with my first child doing masters, and then being pregnant. I remember when he was born, I took a 6-month leave because we were in a country where there was nobody, like literally nobody. So, and luckily then, I think he was doing his PhD, he was finishing his PhD. So we were doing rotation. So I'll go in the morning, return around 1, like a shift to take care of the baby. So I would take over the care of the baby while he would go to campus. So we're doing that. Mind you, when I had that child, I took 6-month break because I just needed to like focus. So when I went back after 6 months, we're doing that rotational thing. So he's always been that biggest factor of him driving me. And so the moment I finished masters, it was like, you're doing PhD. I'm like, interesting. The same university, we are both in the same university. He lectures, I just enrolled for the PhD. And the journey for the PhD it was one of the toughest things I've ever done. My PhD took 7 years. Yeah. Because a lot of things happen within the space of the 1 year. Like, life happens. And my third pregnancy happened during the PhD. The girl is 5.5 now. And I remember I worked till they were telling me, please don't come to the lab anymore. But you know how pregnancy just gives you some sort of energy sometimes. You're like, I'm not sick, like you said earlier on. I'm not sick. I've got energy. So I conceived her during PhD, and with my stomach doing serious laboratory work. At one point, I wanted to give up. To be honest with you, I wanted to give up, but I'll look at my husband. I'm like, this man has invested so much in me. I couldn't disappoint him because I knew what he has put into it. Like it was as if he took it personal. He took it personal. So it really kept me going. Sometimes when I'm stuck, sometimes when I was stuck, we were like, what is the issue? We are in different fields. He's in engineering, I'm in biology, but he will learn my terms and what I was doing. And in his own little understanding of what I was doing, get material for me or try to find solution, even though sometimes of the solution I can't make use of them. But see how dedicated he was to my cause, I just couldn't stop.
Help you.
I just couldn't stop. In fact, let me tell you something. There were times I would go to the lab, and you were tired, like tired to the teeth. And I'll get to the lab, I'll put my head on the table. But then I will remember, somebody will ask me, so how was lab today? What did you do? I'll be like, and I can't lie.
Like your daddy.
Like my dad. And I cannot lie. Children of God cannot lie. So just the thought of when I get home, my husband will ask me, how was the lab today? How was your supervisor? What were you able to do? How will I tell him I didn't do anything, that I came to the lab to sleep? So I'll just drag myself, go to the lab, such that when I'm giving feedback at home, I can say with confidence. So he was my biggest motivation. And when the going got tough, I told myself that if for anything, I want to get a certificate for my husband. I know I'm getting it for myself. But I tell that I want to make my husband proud. Like, this man has tried for my sake. He has tried. And if I was ready to disappoint myself, like I was ready to disappoint myself and not continue, I'm like, I couldn't disappoint this man. I could not. The belief he has in me was just so much that I had to put. It got to a point that I was sleeping back to back in the lab. Like I was sleeping in the lab like 3 times, 4 times in a week. And before I got home, we will have done everything I was supposed to do. Like cook, take care of the children, do everything. I mean, how do you disappoint such a person?
I know, right?
So have you ever been in a position where you literally drained, like you tired, you are not doing anything, and you needed someone to push you, or you needed somebody to talk sense into you? You know what they will say, you know what you need to do, but you just needed somebody, an external person, and you don't want a pat in the back, you want somebody to scold you. And we go to the same campus, right? I got the lecture of my life. We started from home. We got in the car. He was still talking sense into me. You needed somebody to just pick you out of the valley you are in, the valley of I can't do it. I'm tired. People that started before me, they were finishing. I was stuck. So I just couldn't get myself out of. So I'm like, one day I just wish this man would just talk some sense into me. And the day he did, from home till he dropped me off in my department. Everybody I talk to, I say it with pride and joy that the biggest brain behind my success is my husband. The biggest motivation was him.